Superhero movies are one of the latest crazes in the entertainment world. While Civil War, Deadpool, and Doctor Strange have proven to be huge hits, a couple of this year's films, Dawn of Justice and Suicide Squad, have both received some mixed criticism. But are they really that bad when you start comparing them to some of the superhero movies in the past? Well, that question got me thinking of the major bumps that this genre had hit to get to where it is today. So, let's look into these bumps and check out my choices for the top 5 worst superhero movies of all time. Let's count them down.
5.
We all remember Catwoman from the Batman franchise, who was portrayed by Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns and by Anne Hathaway in The Dark Knight Rises. Now, it would seem like a good idea to give this character her own movie, but it is a terrible idea to do so while taking it in a direction wrong on many levels. Yes, I am talking about the 2004 flop, Catwoman. Here we have the feline anti-hero that writers have changed so dramatically that she has a different name,
I'm Patience Phillips. That's who's under there?
a different origin, a dominatrix costume, and goes way over the top when slipping into her cat-like personality.
Catnip.
Green, straight up.
I also hate the way that this movie was shot and edited, because it includes a lot of very strange transitioning, such as this rooftop sequence, for example. I mean, look at how the roof of this building turns into the wall of another building. Halle Berry even expressed her embarrassment when she won a Razzie for the 2005 Razzie Awards.
First of all, I want to thank Warner Brothers. Thank you for putting me in a piece of shit, god-awful movie.
At this ceremony, she even brought along her Oscar that she had won a few years prior for her performance in Monsters Ball.
And, no, I don't have to give this back. It's got my name on it.
4.
The Avengers is currently one of the leading franchises of the superhero movie genre. Each character has their own individual series that eventually crosses over into the Avengers series. But before this mind-blowing franchise began, one of their characters, Captain America, was the focus of a low-budget adaptation in 1990, and it was called, you guessed it, Captain America. In this flick, we are given a viewing experience so deplorable that most people rarely acknowledge its existence. I'm talking about bad acting mixed with cheesy dialogue, outdated camera quality mixed with sloppy editing, oh, and by the way, is it just me, or does Captain America seem to be constantly overpowered in this movie?
It seems the Americans have made a poor choice for their champion.
Well, no, this production company just made a poor choice of how to bring this superhero to the big screen.
3.
Superman is one of the oldest examples of comic book heroes, and even today still holds a bit of potential in the movie industry. But the biggest mistake that was ever made with this character is undoubtedly the final chapter of the Christopher Reeve series, Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. When Superman feels that mankind is at the risk of destruction due to the existence of nuclear weapons, he decides to enforce a highly unlikely solution.
Effective immediately, I'm going to rid our planet of all nuclear weapons.
So, after he somehow convinces the world to act on nuclear disarmament, which seemed surprisingly simple, he gains the attention of Lex Luthor, who retaliates by using Superman's DNA to create a powerful baddie called Nuclear Man. And for what purpose?
To destroy Superman.
Destroy Superman!
Destroy Superman now.
It's always the case with these guys, isn't it? Superman 4 is where the series had rock bottom with its terrible plot, obvious blue screen and green screen effects, bad dialogue, and it introduces new powers like I-beams that rebuild the Great Wall of China. Wait, what? And you want to know how cheap these filmmakers were? They used the exact same shot of Superman flying throughout the movie. I cannot even make this up. They just used that one shot and just changed the background each time. And if that wasn't enough, they even stole the ending shot from the first movie. That exact ending shot. Wow, these guys did not even try, did they, Jon Cryer?
Oh no. 2.
When Tim Burton gave us Batman in 1989 and Batman Returns in 1992, he brought the character to life with his gothic-style approach to filmmaking. But when all the parents thought that his work was too dark for children, Warner Brothers kicked him to the curb and replaced him with Joel Schumacher, who made the last 2 films of the series. While Batman Forever was an okay film, it was the next movie that drove the franchise right to the ground, and that movie was Batman and Robin. Now this one I've been wanting to take a shot at for a long time. It surrounds a poorly written story of how Batman and Robin have to learn how to work together in order to stop a supervillain duo bent on world domination. Mr. Freeze, who wants to bring the world into a new ice age,
everything freezes.
And Poison Ivy, who is bent on creating a world dominated by plants. So, two supervillains with contradictory master plans. Yeah, I can tell this is going to end well. Like Batman Forever, it completely turns away from the dark elements that made Tim Burton's movies visually compelling, only this time, Schumacher tries to recreate the campy style of the 1960s Adam West TV show. This is what led to the franchise's downfall, with new costumes that include bat nipples among other things, as well as a terrible casting with George Clooney as Batman and Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
The Iceman cometh.
And not to mention the long list of ice puns that he makes throughout the movie.
Stay cool, bird boy. All right, everyone, chill. Let's kick some ice. You are not sending me to the cooler. Cool party. Can you be cold, Batman?
I mean, seriously, there is a fine line between being funny and being repetitive. Also, let's not forget about that one moment that pissed everybody off.
6 million.
7 million. Never leave the cave without it.
Really? A freaking bat card?
The bat credit card!
And if this movie was able to screw up a villain like Bane, then you know it's bad. Not only is this a terrible superhero flick, it is also one of the worst sequels of all time, since, once again, it killed the franchise. That is until Christopher Nolan stepped in and rebooted the franchise with the Dark Knight trilogy, which delivered memorable thrills and darker villains, like Heath Ledger's Joker, and not to mention giving Bane the recreation that he desperately needed.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
One.
If bad adaptations have taught us anything, it is that there are some things that just should have stayed on paper rather than being brought to life on the big screen. One of them is definitely the 1997 superhero flick, Steel. Here we have DC's lesser-known character, John Irons, a military weapons expert who becomes a metallic crime fighter known as Steel, who is on a mission to bring down a military soldier turned arms dealer played by Judd Nelson. This abomination includes a dull plot, slowly paced action, and a terrible rubbery costume that they try to make you think is metal. Steel was not only unenjoyable, it was also a box office bomb, earning only $1.7 million of its $16 million budget. Another issue that I have with the film is the casting, mostly with Shaquille O'Neal playing the title character.
Nice shooting, Johnny.
Thanks, Sparky.
I mean, it seems like the movie was more focused on making the character more like Shaq than connecting to the character that the film was based on. And don't get me wrong, I loved Shaq as a basketball player, but acting was definitely not the right way to go with him. I mean, if you could honestly call this acting.
Ain't got no problem.
Oh, yes, you do. It's hammer time. But I see you just fronting in front of your homeboys. It's on now.
Oh man, and I thought Ben Stein's acting was so wooden. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and if you have any suggestions for what you would like to see in the next countdown, let me know in the comments. And until next time, this is Don Elmy, signing out.